I get a lot of questions from designers and non-technical PM or founders asking if they should move away from Lovable and learn something like Claude Code, get into the terminal, get their hands dirty with code. My answer is not necessarily so. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing you my reasons why. Hopefully, this video should be able to help you make that informed decision on which of these tools to choose for your next project. Hi, my name is Jayashree, and I am currently a senior product designer at Microsoft. I am a part of a team that builds Copilot agents, and as a part of our day-to-day work at Microsoft, I also heavily use GitHub Copilot and Claude Code to create white-coded innovations or create white-coded project demos and features, but also to convert Figma into components and working interfaces. I was also the top 5% of vibe-coded developers in India on Lovable by Traffic last year. This video is going to be a share out which builds on my experience. So if you are interested and if you find value out of this, please do consider subscribing to the channel, which will help me make more videos like this for you. So to start with, let's understand what is Lovable and what is Claude. It's almost the same thing. You're interacting with the same AI engine because Lovable is built on Claude Opus 4.6. The comparison isn't really between Claude Code versus Lovable. It's about which layer you want to work at. Lovable is more like a building engine, which is built on Claude Opus 4.6. So the question is that these are not really competitors per se, but they are built for different people. It is imperative that you understand which level that you want to work at, and that the answer to that question is based on the type of person that you are, based on your skill set, based on your background, based on what you're comfortable with, and also based on what you're trying to do in that particular moment. So Claude Code is a terminal-first AI coding assistant that integrates directly into into an engineer's IDE or the development environment, that is VS Code. It sits in your IDE. It's a smart assistant, and it understands the entire code base. It understands your files. It is amazing for discussing new features and new improvements. Very good at solving bugs and for maybe even complex refactoring. So again, Claude Code is a terminal-first tool that you can either use from the terminal or you can integrate it into your IDE. Whereas Lovable is an AI-powered app builder that generates complete web applications end-to-end with a React plus Supabase stack, or it can be React plus Firebase stack. The user just chats with Lovable. It takes that conversation and builds complete end-to-end applications. One thing that I would want to point out that Lovable gives you a full end-to-end stack. So in case you have an idea that you want to take to the market quickly, you want to have an end-to-end thing, like where you can, with just using chat, you can build out the interface, you can do the auth, you can build your databases, connect write functions, you can even connect your payment gateways, you can even connect your subscriptions. So and even you can even connect your custom domain to deploy it. So end to end, Lovable can take care of that. And I personally know many people who have built applications on top of Lovable and who are making real money with it. So just because Claude Codes integrates directly into a developer's IDE doesn't mean that Lovable is any less. And just because Claude Code doesn't really provide any UI drag and drop type of interface doesn't mean that is any less. So both of these are powerful in their own ways. It is just us who need to decide which layer we want to work at, depending on what we are trying to do at that moment. Again, this slide shows you when to do what, right? So use Lovable if you are a founder, designer, or someone with an idea who has never written code, or who is like comfortable with like basic of coding. And especially if you are building something quickly to validate the idea, then Lovable is your best friend. Versus if you are someone who is very comfortable with code, and if you are someone who knows or who has an existing code base and they want to maybe build a feature on top of an existing app, or maybe if you are someone who is very comfortable with code and who wants to understand what's happening inside, then Claude Code is your best friend. So this is where it deeply integrates into your existing code system, and it will help you plan out to make informed architectural design decisions. So if you are a developer who needs deep code base awareness and who needs that kind of control over what changes to make in the code, Claude Code is your go-to. I'm going to show you a table that summarizes each of these on 5 different parameters, and this table is going to help you make that informed decision of what to use for your next project. So the first thing that we'll look at is ease of use, especially for non-coders. Lovable clearly wins here. So Lovable, there is no setup required. You just have to create an account. You get 5 free credits, but you can also sign up for a subscription. And then all you have to do is just chat with the interface and you can see your whole UI built. I also made videos on how to use Lovable to build products, which I will link. You can go check out that video. I have also made videos on how to build applications using Claude Code. So please do check out that videos as well. So Lovable, no setup required, very easy to use and to produce an end-to-end app. Claude Code, however, requires either terminal knowledge or requires you to set up an IDE on which it will connect. The next thing is design control and UI quality. So here, Lovable absolutely wins. So Lovable is visual first. You can even select components or buttons or each component on the UI and ask Lovable to change it through a prompt. So it gives you that kind of granular control. Claude Code, it gives you a very high quality output, which is a code output, but not necessarily UI. If you don't connect your Figma or if you don't specify any Tailwind CSS or any design systems, it will give you an okay-ish to a mediocre UI, the Claude Code. But at the same time, in Lovable, you can expect a polished design. But having said that, Claude Code does connect to Figma. So in your team, if you have designers who have Figma files, you can just connect Claude Code to Figma using an MCP. That's what we do at Microsoft as well. And then that will be able to read your Figma files and give you a pixel perfect conversion. The next aspect on which we will compare is the logic and its ability to build full stack apps, and this is where Claude Code actually shines. Lovable is fast to deploy, but under the hood it does produce messier code. There's also a video that I have made where I'm using the same prompt to generate the same web application inside of Lovable and Claude Code, where you can see the kind of output, both UI and code, that was generated. So for Lovable, it's messier code. It's hard to maintain if you are going to scale up that application. But Claude Code has full code base awareness. You can use it to solve bugs. It will have deep refactoring. It can give you a deep refactoring assistance as well. The fourth one is speed of execution. Again, Lovable wins here. Using Lovable, you can get a working app in less than 30 minutes straight. Code will be a little bit messier, but the time from an idea to a finished product is much, much lesser. For Claude, for building the same app, you will take a few hours, but the quality of the code that will be produced by Claude is much better. It will be easier for you to maintain that code in the long run, build on top of it in the long run. And fewer fixes needed afterwards as well. Lovable has a monthly subscription, and Claude Code also have a monthly subscription, but Lovable runs on credits. So each prompt that you put into Lovable is going to cost you credits, and unless you know how to prompt properly, the credits are going to just flow away like water in a river. Over the last year, I have learned and developed a system to prompt Lovable in such a way that use minimal credits. And if you're interested to know that, please let me know in the comments and I'll make a video on that as well. And Claude Code has a monthly subscription. It doesn't really require credits, but what I have seen with Claude Code is that it has global limits. So it has a limit on how much you can use it at a time, which is understandable because most of the people in the world are using it. But again, it's sometimes feels restrictive. Right? So credits in Lovable can drain away very quickly if you don't know how to use how to prompt it well. And I would highly suggest that you test it out, test your prompts, batch your prompts together, and never ever forget to use the plan mode. So before you do anything in Lovable, just go to the plan mode and brainstorm with it, and then you can ask it to implement the entire plan at a time. And again, in Claude Code, there are no credits per se, but again, it has its global limits. So in case you're someone like me who has a full-time job, but also who does vibe coding during the early hours, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and on the weekends, and if Claude says, hey, you have hit your global limit at 4 a.m. in the morning, and it asks you to come back in 3 hours, that's for me, that's a waste of a day, because after 3 hours I'll be out. Plan modes are available in both of these products. It is best if you use plan mode first before they start writing code. The next thing is who owns the code in both of these platforms, right? So Lovable, the entire code is AI generated, and then you build on top of the code that's generated. AI manages the file system, and then the user builds on top of it. This is okay for a small to medium sized project, but if you want to scale the project to like a large enterprise grade, I would highly suggest that you use GitHub to export the Codebase from Lovable, and then use Claude Code to start managing that code base, right? Again, in Claude Code, you own every file and every decision that is made. Claude Code just plugs into your IDE, and though it generates the code, you are very much in control. You even have the visibility of what's changed and what's not. And also, ownership matters a lot in the long run. If you are building an app for an enterprise grade level, or if you are building a product that serves millions of users, totally recommend using Claude. All right, so before I end the video, I would like to discuss two myths that I have seen many people have in real life, and just wanted to clear the air around those, right? So the first thing is Lovable is a beginner's tool. It's definitely not. There are many people who have built end-to-end products in Lovable. They are making real money with Lovable. It is not a beginner's tool. It runs on the same engine that's powering Claude Code. It's just that the kind of people who would prefer Lovable are different. It is definitely not a beginner's tool, but at some point, Lovable will hit its limit. Again, for small to medium sized apps, it is wonderful for you to get started with it. But as soon as you want scalability, you want that kind of visibility into the code, totally suggest moving on to Claude Code. Second myth is terminal is for coders. Now, I have heard a lot of design friends and the design community talk about this, that terminal is little bit daunting, and I would encourage you to challenge this hypothesis. Terminal is powerful, though it might look like it's like a small box with a white weird font. It does have a lot of power. And once you start understanding how to use terminal, trust me, you would not want to do it the normal way. So terminal is powerful. Be open to learning it, to understanding it. It's not rocket science. It's pretty easy. So again, if you want to ship something that is something today without touching terminal, Lovable is your go-to tool. If you want to own and understand your code base while moving fast, Claude Code is your tool. But if you are someone smarter, then, and if you are really serious about building a product, then I would suggest you use both. Start small, start quick, validate your ideas, go to market with Lovable, landing pages, quick tools, quick mocks, quick working prototypes. And then once you find the traction, once you find the users who are paying you, then slowly slowly use Git to export that to your own workspace, plug in Claude Code into it, and scale and expand it. So I hope this video has been helpful. And then if you are interested in learning more about Claude, I'm going to link a few videos. And if you have gotten any value at all from this video, please do consider subscribing. And please do check out my other videos that I make around use of Lovable. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.